Hey friends, today we're taking a little field trip to one of my very favorite restaurants, LOTTE in Wichita, Kansas. I'm here in the kitchen with my friend Chef Josh Rathbun, Executive Chef at LOTTE, one of my favorite restaurants. Now I've been eating here since you guys opened pretty much. I love that you guys have seasonal menus that you change frequently. And honestly, what I really love the most is the execution and the precision of each and every dish. And today we're gonna do a couple together. So tell me what you wanna do.
Thanks, Tom. Super stoked to have you here today. It's been a pleasure to serve you and your family, and now I'm happy to do this video with you. This is gonna be fun. We're gonna do two dishes today. So we have a couple dishes that have managed to stand the test of time on our menu, dishes that our customers refuse to let us change. We're gonna make your favorite, the Tuna Crudo.
Yeah.
So what we're going to start with is dicing up our yellowfin tuna. We've got a lovely piece here, and we're just going to cut that and throw it in a bowl, season it up. This is just yellowfin, so this is a wonderful, as the world knows and loves, a wonderful fish that's caught in the Pacific Ocean.
The world doesn't know is that we can get it in Kansas.
Yeah, it's still available here in Wichita, of all places.
Pinch of salt.
Okay. A bit of scallion. And we have here, this is a lovely little sriracha vinaigrette. So we intentionally made this quite spicy. We wanted it to be bold flavor. We wanted folks to know that they're eating something spicy, you know?
That's probably why I like it.
Yeah. Okay, so now that this is dressed, we can go ahead and prepare our scallion pancake.
Okay.
This pancake was really the inspiration for the entire dish itself. Zach, the chef de cuisine, and I both are huge fans of this little kind of accoutrement that you see at many Asian restaurants.
Yeah.
But we wanted to incorporate it into a dish somehow. There you go. Yeah.
It's moving. You can hear the flavor. That crispiness.
Right? That's really the star of the show. I mean, you really got to have something that stands up to the boldness of that. Not just the tuna, but the sriracha vinaigrette as well. This is good. The high heat really produces the nice bubbles.
It's like a come for the tuna and stay for the pancake.
Hell yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and start if you want to follow my lead here. First, we take our scallion pancake, place it on the plate. We're going to toss our tuna scallion mixture with our sriracha vinaigrette. Okay. Now, we don't want this. We just want our tuna to fall nicely on the pancake. But I think the garnish is what really makes this dish shine beautifully. Okay. So we have some candied garlic. So we'll start with that. We have some spiced peanuts. So we'll throw a few of these on there. Of course, more scallion. And finally, we'll finish with some cilantro and placing some leaves nicely.
Pretty. These are great aromatics to top off everything else that's going on here.
Classic Asian flavors. Yeah. Can't go wrong. Oh yeah.
That pancake's crazy. I mean, you know I love the tuna, but the flavor in that thing, for as simple as it is, and the texture of it.
It's really the textures that do it for me.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Agree. Tuna, amazing as always, but it's time for another one. What are we doing next?
We're going to go in a bit of a different direction this time, and we're going to do a lovely pasta dish.
Okay.
This is the lamb orecchiette. It's definitely one of our customer base's favorite dishes. They would riot if we took it off the menu. But it features just some wonderful sausage from a local farmer.
Okay.
Some handmade pasta, and luckily some broccoli from the rooftop garden. All right, so here we have a dough. This is 50% water, 50% semolina flour.
Okay.
Very basic, very simple, and it has a nice texture, not too sticky. Because of the shape that we're making today, we're making orecchiette. Orecchiette means little ears in Italian, and so what we have is a fun little handmade shape that is assisted by a little board we call a gnocchi board.
Right, so this, you pretty much roll it out into a long log and then cut into smaller pieces that are going to be shaped on that board, right?
Exactly, with our thumb. So we'll push on it, and that's what's going to give it that curl of the ear, or that dip that looks like an ear. We're going to assist with a bit of flour, just so it doesn't stick. Just simply on the boards like so.
Beautiful little sauce cups.
Yeah, and that's really what we're creating is two different options for sauce to be held in the kind of dip of the pasta here and the ridges of the pasta as well.
Teach me your ways, chef. What do I got to do different?
A little more pressure.
A little more pressure? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, and then peel it off. There you go, dude.
I'm making cavatelli is what you're
See
telling me.
here?
Yeah.
These are like, we call these micro striations. That literally is going to hold pasta sauce.
For sure.
Now just do, I don't know, gosh, 500 more for service tonight.
Fresh pasta is knocked out. Now tell me about the remaining components for this dish.
So let's go ahead and start with the lamb. So this lamb comes from Inman, Kansas. A wonderful guy out there named Ron has this stuff from Blaze Fork Lamb. So we buy ground lamb and we turn that into a merguez sausage.
Right, which is why it's got that beautiful deep red color.
Exactly, yeah. So we're gonna like grind in some chicken liver. There's gonna be a bit of beef fat, kind of extra stuff that we have laying around the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then of course your cumin, your paprika and garlic and other things that make merguez.
Cool. So what else are we putting into this dish? We got lamb, we got pasta, obviously we've got broccoli.
Yeah, really it's the pasta, the lamb, and the broccoli are the three kind of stars of the show here. Really what I want to do is just kind of make this manageable for bite-sized pieces. The stem is just super sweet and delicious. So we use up most of, if not the whole stem, when we are making our pasta. Here, try that. The stem is like almost as good as the broccoli itself. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Boiling salty water. Anytime you're blanching something, you want your water to be salty, kind of like the ocean salty. Really salty water. And hot boiling straight into an ice bath to kind of set that green color.
Well, at the same time, you're cooking whatever, or stopping whatever cooking was going on.
Exactly.
Yeah. So shallots, where are these going in the dish?
Oh my gosh, whenever we're making pasta, dude, we throw a little bit of garlic and shallot in every dish. So we're gonna brunoise these. That's just a very, very fine dice. First thing you want to do is just kind of take some of your merguez. It's emulsified already, so it sticks together real nicely. Just tear apart little, I wouldn't say meatballs, but just nice little chunks. A little garlic, a little shallot.
Got your aromatics.
We're deglazing now with white wine.
Okay.
This is a Parmesan Brodo.
Ooh, tell us about that.
Basically, it's chicken stock cooked with a bunch of parm rinds.
Okay.
Sometimes I throw some like porky good stuff. If I have like prosciutto bone or something like that, I can throw in there to give it some unctuous flavor.
Yeah.
Some butter. This fresh stuff that we just made isn't going to take long at all.
Yeah. So how far down are you going to take this production-wise?
What you're looking for is really something that will kind of nicely coat your mouth, coat the pasta. So we want to reduce it until the sauce is what we call nappe, which, not quite nappe, which will be like back of your spoon. You can wipe your finger across like so,
Right.
and it doesn't drip like that.
Gotcha.
That's where we want to take it.
Nice, so the pasta just finishes off in the sauce.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was probably only 3 minutes it was in there.
Not even. Now we're getting those nice big bubbles, just about there. I'm gonna add in my broccoli. Throughout the year, we've used broccoli, broccolini, different things like that, different vegetables like that. You don't want to cook this too long with the broccoli because the broccoli will brown. So we're just kind of cooking it at the last minute there. And I think we're about ready to plate. A little feta cheese to finish. Next is our oregano, fresh off the stem. Here we have a house-made chili crunch that we're just gonna finish with a little spice.
I need pasta, I need feta, I need sausage. I'm being picky here.
Oh, dude. It's a warm hug.
Some more of that sauce.
Need some more butter. Just kidding.
We've got enough butter.
Yeah, it's
good. I love the way that the lamb and the feta work together because they're both like two a little bit funky things. But the broth kind of like mellows out both of those things.
Oh, it's a great intro to lamb. If you're not like a lamb person, if you're a lamb curious,
Yeah,
great intro to lamb.
I absolutely agree. I can tell it's lamb, but it's got so many other flavors going on that
Yeah.
you're not just thinking lamb, lamb, lamb.
Right,
You know?
right.
Yeah, beautiful.
Awesome, dude. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
appreciate you.
Hell yeah.
That was a tasty field trip. So much thanks to Josh and to LOTTE for having us, for giving us their time. He's a really good friend. He's a fantastic chef. Make sure you check out LOTTE in Wichita, Kansas. And let us know if you'd like to see us take more field trips because we'd love to do more of this content. For the meantime, go over to atbbq.com/thesauce and check out the recipes.